All right, let's talk about what happens when the absolute brilliance of AI smacks right into the messy, chaotic reality of cybersecurity. It's a world full of blunders, gaffes, and moments that are, let's be honest, pretty hilarious. So let's dive headfirst into this digital comedy of errors. But here's the thing. As funny as some of these stories are, this is a seriously exploding problem. The Stanford AI Index found a 56.4% spike in reported AI security incidents in just 1 year. What we're seeing is this mad dash by companies to get AI into everything, but they're forgetting to, lock the digital doors behind them.
And that really brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. Probably the best way to think about AI right now is like this. It's a toddler with a flamethrower. Yeah, it's incredibly powerful, it's got amazing potential, but it is dangerously unpredictable if you don't put up some serious guardrails.
Okay, so let's start with the most public and often the most entertaining failures, the chatbots. The ones we're all starting to talk to every single day.
The main villain in these stories is almost always something called prompt injection. So what is that? Well, just think of it like hypnotizing the AI. You use clever, tricky language to make the chatbot forget its programming and just do what you say. It works because there's no real system checking the inputs, which makes these powerful tools surprisingly gullible. And this is just a perfect example. A user on X, basically just for fun, decided to mess with a Chevy dealership's chatbot. He gave it a new persona and told it to agree to any customer request, no matter what. And it worked. He got it to offer him a brand new $76,000 SUV for $1. Now, obviously, the deal didn't happen, but wow, what a PR headache.
And this wasn't a one-off thing either. Over in the UK, a frustrated customer for a delivery company called DPD decided to push their chatbot's limits. He didn't just get it to swear, he got it to write a whole poem trashing its own company, even calling DPD useless. The AI literally became a disgruntled employee with a gift for poetry. So when you look at these stories together, a pattern emerges, right? You've got the Chevy bot selling a car for $1. The lesson? You need hard limits on prices. You've got the DPD bot writing angry poems. The lesson? You got to restrict what it can talk about. And there was another one, Air Canada, where a bot just made up a refund policy, which cost the airline real money. And that's the biggest lesson. Never, ever let an AI make financial promises without a human checking the work. The common thread here is just a shocking lack of basic common sense controls. Okay, so that's the funny public stuff. Let's shift gears now to the much more serious and way more costly corporate blunders. This is where that toddler with a flamethrower really starts to cause some damage.
And the main issue here is a concept called shadow AI. This is what happens when your employees, who are just trying to be smart and efficient, start using public AI tools, like the free version of ChatGPT, for their actual work. The problem is, those public tools have absolutely no corporate security. They're not designed for it.
Which leads to this fantastic piece of advice. You can't let your company's secrets go skinny dipping in the public AI pool. It's the perfect image, isn't it? You're taking your most valuable, sensitive information and just tossing it out there into what is essentially a public, totally unsecured space for anyone to see.
Samsung found this out the hard way. Some of their engineers, just trying to fix bugs or write code faster, pasted highly sensitive proprietary source code right into ChatGPT. And, of course, the AI learned it. It became part of its knowledge base. The only reason they caught it was when IT noticed that ChatGPT was suddenly giving responses that included bits of their internal code. The result? A complete company-wide ban on using those tools. And Amazon had an almost identical scare. Employees were using ChatGPT like a work buddy, feeding it all sorts of internal data to get help with tasks. Well, pretty soon, the AI started spitting that same confidential data back out in its answers to other people. It's like whispering your company's secrets to a parrot in a packed stadium. The estimated cost of that little mistake? Over $1 million. Okay, so we've seen chatbots go rogue. We've seen corporate secrets leak all over the internet. The big question is obvious. What on earth do we do about it? How do we actually tame this digital toddler? Well, let's look at a framework for getting this under control. It turns out
when you really boil it down, most of these massive failures come from just three things. You could call it the unholy trinity of AI risks. Number one is prompt injection. That's what got the chatbots. Number two is shadow AI. That's what caused the data leaks. And number three, the one that ties it all together, is just plain weak governance. A total failure to set clear rules for the road. So how do you fix it? Well, it's a 5-step game plan. First, you need clear policies so everybody knows the rules of engagement. Then you have to build guardrails, actual technical controls to keep the AI in its lane. For anything high stakes, you always keep a human in the loop. No AI gets to approve big decisions alone. Fourth, you give your employees secure internal tools to use so they aren't tempted to go use the public ones. And finally, you train people constantly. Make sure everyone understands this isn't magic, it's a tool with real risks.
Ultimately, maybe the healthiest way to look at this whole thing is to treat your AI like a very bright, very fast, but also very naive intern. It's fantastic for drafting things, for summarizing research, for brainstorming ideas. But you would never let an intern finalize a multi-million-dollar contract or handle your most sensitive HR data alone, right? It's just not ready to run the show solo.
And that leaves us with one final question for you. As you start using AI more and more in your own work, in your own life, you have to ask yourself, have you put the right guardrails in place? Is your AI a helpful intern that's making you better, or is it just a future blooper reel waiting to happen? Thanks for joining me.